Flosstube. Welcome to my channel, Magical Anime Stitcher, and I am Jessie. It's been a couple of months since my last video. I have no real reason that I didn't record a video at the beginning of August. I think just that time got out of hand. There was work, there was whatever. And so I did miss a video, but don't worry, we'll catch you all up for July and August today. So I hope you're doing good. I am recording this on Monday, Labor Day, September 1st here in the United States. So I have the day off, so does my husband. Much appreciation to all the people out there who are actually still working in order to make those of us who do have the day off have a nice, pleasant day. So shout out to those folks. Let's see. I got a lot done in these 2 months. I went to the Midnight Stitch. Oh my goodness, why have I forgotten what it's called? Midsummer's Night's Stitch, I think. And with hosted by Lindy Stitches, and that was fun. These retreats, I'm just going, a little bit how I kind of approach these retreats is that I really just kind of approach them as like a virtual class. So I almost never go to the stitchy tables, which is bad of me. And so I have done it in the past, but I don't know why. I just don't do them. I go and I watch the meet and greets. I take the classes and everything, but that's pretty much all I do. And so sorry if you were hoping to run into me and I just never showed up in the stitchy room. I just didn't do it this time around. I did sign up for the Harvest Fall Party. Don't know, again, I'm calling that the wrong thing, I am sure, but that's later this month, so I will be attending. I did sign up for both classes, and I'll show a little bit more about that a little bit later, my purchases for the project bag. And so I just think, it's however much it is. I think $15 now. It's just a nice thing, and I enjoy the classes, and I figured like going forward, except for the Jingle Ball where there's so much to do, you have to kind of take the whole weekend off and stuff like that, that I'm going to try to do as many classes as I can and stuff and just kind of treat it that way. We have not gone on any kind of vacation this summer because we are going on a big vacation in November. We're going to be heading out to LA right the weekend before Veterans Day. And we're going for a big music festival on that Saturday. And then we're going to make a trip to Disneyland because how can you go to LA and not go to the land of the mouse? So that's kind of what's been going on. Can't really complain about anything. This actually the last couple of weeks have been a little rough. My husband got really sick and I had to take some time off of work. I had to cancel going to a conference for which I was a speaker at to be able to stay home with him. And, but he's on the mend. We'll let you know he's on the mend. He's doing well. In fact, today he went off to go play some games with some friends of his. And, so thankfully he is on the mend, but he was definitely, it was pretty rough there for a little bit. So, and then I kind of had to crash out. Like I didn't get, like, he wasn't contagious. I didn't get what he had, but like once once we know he was kind of, I don't know if he was ever in any real danger, but but it was bad. And like once we knew he was starting to recover, I think I had my own crash out. So I felt not good for like a couple of days. And I was like, oh no. Then we thought, wait, are you contagious? But what I was experiencing wasn't what he was experiencing. It was very much like flu-like symptoms. I was just tired. Like I just was physically exhausted. And you just don't really think about like, it's really kind of say like you don't really think about what stress you put on your body, what stress does to you and how much energy it takes to remain calm and kind of in your right mindset. And so it's just kind of one of those it's a warning to everybody, like just a reminder to everybody, like you got to do stuff for yourself, right? To make sure that you don't crash out and deal with your stress and things like that. I started following a TikToker that is, I'm not sure where she is. I am going to guess European based on the accent that she has. Where in Europe, I will not try to guess. So I'm not going to be one of those people who just like, oh yes, but she kind of talks about like the using craft has kind of like how it is, the therapeutic aspect of it, and how it is a relief, and how being creative, that's all that. And so I'm always very grateful for stitching. And so let's talk about some stitching. I'm very short. I'm going to adjust my camera just a bit. Let me move that down a bit. Okay, how's that? Forgive the mess. I am in the middle of once again, a major cleaning of my office space. And so there's some stuff that got piled behind me as I cleared stuff off of my table in front of me. But I feel pretty good about this. Like, I think I'm going to get clean by the end of the week, honestly. I think because I'm going to be spending the rest of my day kind of decluttering. All right, so first up is what I did in July. So I put in 9,755 stitches over 30 days on 7 projects. I did count each of my ornaments that I did for Creepy Village has its own singular project there. But yeah, so that's what I did. I had a finish of 6 of the ornaments. I have not stitched the gift ornament that was provided by Lola Cross Cross Stitch. But so Creepy Christmas Village by Lola Cross Cross Stitch. And I did these 3 ornaments. So first up was Headless Horse Carriage, and this was 1,196 stitches in 4 days. All of this, by the way, is 2/2 on 36 count Elephant Run by Fox and Rabbit. So there's that one. Everything is called for floss. I didn't use the fancy glow-in-the-dark floss for anyone. And then next up was the Gazebo, which is 1,090 stitches. I did this in 5 days. And this one was actually pretty fun to do. And then last but not least, this is, I'm going to call it Dickens. I think she actually names it Christmas Past. Why is it not focusing? Focus. There we go. But I've been calling it Dickens, but I think she refers to it as Christmas Past, Present, and Future. I don't know why I'm having a hard time focusing. There it goes. So this was 1,565 stitches over 5 days. So I will plan on stitching the last ornament at some point in time. And then I'll be done with this, and I'll probably try to get these fully finished. Maybe. We'll see. I just realized I already put everything away for it. Like, I was not going to be stitching on it anymore. And then it's like, oh wait, there's one more thing. So next up was, so just so that everyone has a reminder, my goal was for the year 2025 is to finish what needs to be finished. I have no real like set goal on that, but it's just kind of one of those, like, let's push things forward, things that have been sitting around for a while that, or things I haven't stitched on. Let's just try to get things done, get the older whips done so I can feel fine with starting the newer whips. And so I searched for an Ancestor, which was my focus piece for July, and this is by the Laurel Witch, and it says I can't read it that way. I searched for an ancestor who would have been considered a suffragette, harlot, witches, mystics, queens. And so I love this piece. If y'all have been around for a minute, you know how much I love it, and I have continued to work on this. What's really funny is that you can actually really see the progress on it. By the way, all of my before and after pictures are on Instagram, so go check out that over there if you want to see it. But this one is kind of funny to me because almost everything is on this dress. So let me go backwards so you can see the whole thing. So I worked on this for 13 days. I put in 4,051 stitches into it. And really all I did was just continue to work on that dress. That dress just kept going further and further down. That's those stitches at the bottom that you see is the bottom border. And I am playing very much fabric chicken with this pattern. But I love her. Everything is called for DMC on 32 gallon Lugana, haunted by Seraphim Hand-Dyed Fabrics. And the only thing I did to change was I did a skin conversion to make the lady look more like me. And hair conversion. So there it is. So excited about this one. This is a focus piece. I very much would like to get this finished this year. And so likelihood I will return this to my focus attention in September. I have a trip in September. that I think I can take it on if I don't finish it before that. All right, next up is Lady Justice, because July had July 4th in it, and I just felt like, all right, maybe I should work on my Justice piece. And so this is Lady Justice by Mirabilia. And I only worked on this for a couple of days, literally on that 4th of July weekend only. And, let me get this open, lift this up. And here it is. I put 2 days of 511 stitches in it. I'm doing this 2/2 with the called for DMC on 32 count Lugana Cote Dove by Atomic Ranch Fabrics. And there it is. So basically I finished the scarf and I just started working on her dress right in that corner that you can see right there. So yeah, so that's it. No real plans for this one. It is one of my older pieces, so with chances are it will end up being in my must finish for 2026, but it's not on my must finish for 2025. So yeah, I will continue to work on that as I see fit to work on it. All right. And next up is Lady Violet Witherbottom by the Forbidden Fiber Co. This is part of her steampunk sheep line that she put out last year. I think it was last year. Looking for the no copyright date, so I think it was last year. So these are great travel pieces. It's what I take normally when I travel, or when I'm sitting in the doctor's office waiting for, to be called or lab results or something like that. And this is where she sits right now. I worked on this for one day. I put in 389 stitches on it, and basically all I did was just fill in the pink on the mug there on her teacup. And so that's the extent of what I've done on it. Still a great travel piece. Still will continue to travel with it. All right. And last but not least was my finish. I had a summer solstice start in June, and my goal was to finish this piece by Pumpkin Frosted Stitchery, which is Summer Beach Day. Ta-da! So this was a finish, and this was a must finish piece because I have finished all the other 3 pieces. I've done the other seasons, and which is Winter Carriage Ride, Autumn Harvest Party, and Spring Garden Club. And so this is Summer Beach Day, and I put in 953 stitches over 2 days. I was so close to finishing it at the end of June. So here it is. And everything is called for 2/2 with the called for DMC and I believe weeks. And this is 14 count Aida Splash by Picture This Plus. Yay! So now that will go into my finish pile and my to be finished slot. I'm actually thinking, y'all, that was it for my July stitching. I'm thinking about so I do have an advent box coming. I'm hoping tariffs are not too crazy because I ordered it from Bothy Threads. I'm going to pay the tariffs. It's not, because I do want the box. But it's, so hopefully, but who knows what's happening. But I was trying to think about what I could be doing for either Flossoween or for Flossmas. And I was thinking about possibly doing, it's not in a day, right? Because I have a job. So I can't do one a day type of thing. But I'm thinking about doing finishes, trying to get some finishes done. Once a week, depending on what my schedule looks like and that kind of stuff. So I'm thinking about doing some kind of challenge of finishing, fully finishing. Because I got so much that needs to get fully finished. And a lot of it I can do on my own. So thinking about it. What are y'all thinking? Should that be a challenge for Flossoween or Flossmas? Or maybe it's a January resolution thing? I don't know. All right. Well, that takes care of July. And so now we're going to skip on over to August, another really good month. Not as good as July, but still a lot of finishes. And I put in 8,896 stitches over 28 days on 4 projects. And so we're going to start with my first finish, which was a Stitcher's Quaker by Luminous Fiber Arts. Here you go. Oops. And this one I did almost the entirety of it. So this is 2/2 with ribbon red by Classic Colorworks on 32 count linen. It's an unknown linen. This was part of a retreat that I went to last year in 2024. And I just started working on it, intending it to be just like put 1,000 stitches into it. But I just got into the groove. Like once I saw like how much 1,000 stitch, I put in 3,000 stitches. So it wasn't like, I was like, oh yeah, I'm almost close to being done. But like once I saw what 1,000 stitches looked like, I was like, I can finish this. And so I decided to go ahead and finish it, which I forgot to mention. My plan for August was to do Action August. So I had this whole plan where I was like, okay, I'm going to touch anything I haven't touched this year. I would pick up and put some stitches into it. I thought, depending on how fast it stitches, like 500 or 1,000 stitches, something like that, right? I was going to pick up, that's what I was going to do. That didn't happen. Like, I completely got, like, finish fever, and I was like, okay, I'm just going to finish it. And so I went ahead and finished it, and I think it's really cute. I think I'm going to plan on finishing this as a pillow. What are your thoughts? It's a big pillow. It's not like a, tiny pillow, but I think it'd be cute as a pillow. Or framed. We'll see. We'll see we'll see how I feel when I finally decide to start finishing things this year, next year, whenever. All right. So then the next thing was another fever finish, which was I decided to work on Death Before Decaf. This was again a project I hadn't started or done any stitching on this year. And so I was like, oh, hey, let's go and put in 1,000 stitches. And lo and behold, all of a sudden, it was stitching up so fast. Like I put 500 stitches in one night, and I was like, this is stitching quickly. Let me just finish it. And so I put in 2,543 stitches over 5 days. This is 3/1 on 14 count Aida Eek by Picture Disc Plus, and it's all with the Cold Floor Floss DMC. I love it. This is a gift from my husband. He actually asked me to stitch this for him, and so I will fully finish it so that way he could put it on his desk for works. All right, but that was fun. That was a lot of fun to stitch. I will definitely say that. Be sure you drink. Probably not Coke, which is what I'm having. But I'll tell you, being in Texas, I don't know if this is just the way I grew up or what. There's nothing better than an ice cold Coke on a really hot day in Texas. It just doesn't exist. Like it's not that it obviously it doesn't really good. It's not good for hydration, but it quenches the thirst that you get when it's hot. And you know what's really funny is that today actually isn't that hot. We actually had some big rains come in that cooled it down a bit, but it's been hot. So we'll leave it at that. All right. So next up was that I was inspired because she was one of the designers at Lindy Stitch's retreat in July that I wanted to work on one of my only pattern that I own by Sprouting Lupine, which is greenwashing. This was part of the Stitchers Collective's Earth Day bundle back in 2023. So this was a project I hadn't touched in a while, and I thought, let's go ahead and get some work done on that. And so I ended up working on this for 8 days, and I put in 2,228 stitches. This is 2/2 with all of the Cold Floor DMC except for one. There she had called for a Forbidden Fiber Co floss. I went ahead and substituted that with another DMC. And this is on 32 count Lugana Willow by Color in Cotton. So this is really fun. This takes a lot longer to stitch because of all the starts and stops that you have to do with it, right? And so, but overall, I am enjoying it, and I do believe I'm going to try to finish this up in September as well. Probably just continue stitching on this tonight, and then see how I get at the end of the week. And then last but not least, I also worked on Here Be Dragons by Modern Folk Embroidery. It's a project I hadn't touched since last year, and I wanted to put at least 1,000 stitches into it, and that is what I did. That's when I actually did not get finish fever because there was no way I was going to finish it. I'm probably only at 15% completion at this point in time. But here it is. This is 2/2 with Plum Shadow by Roxy Flosco. I'm doing this on 32 count Lugana Papyrus by color and cotton. I did 1,027 stitches over 6 days. And obviously what I stitched was I continued on the border and went on down there. So this is also a lot of fun. I don't think it's an easy stitch. I definitely had to really pay attention to my counting to make sure I didn't make any mistakes on it. But that is where we are. So yeah, that's it. That's all of my stitching for the last 2 months. So only took 20 minutes to do it. and I included a little bit of a life update at the beginning. I talked too quickly, I think. Anyways, all right. I did not really buy anything. I did buy a couple of patterns. I don't have those printed out, but I did buy some from the party. But that was it. Nothing else. But I did purchase the exclusive fabric from the retreat, which is called Midsummer by Bee Stitch Me. Oh my goodness, this is gorgeous, y'all. Like, this is such a beautiful piece of fabric. I can't wait to find something to stitch on this with. Like, this is beautiful. So this is 32 count linen, and just look at that. It's called Midsummer, again, by Bee Stitch Me. It was exclusive to the retreat. I don't know if you are going to be able to get it at any other time, but if you do, it's gorgeous. Get it. How talented people are. All right. That's it for the actual stitching, I think I mentioned. I did say that I am going to be taking both of the classes with at the harvest party with retreat. And so the first one is like a little witch hat pincushion that's going to be taught by Lady Dot Creates. I purchased the kit for that. I was able to get the kit. I don't have it in front of me, but it's just pieces and things like that. I think it's just going to be better for me to show you when it's complete at the end when I do that. That's going to be the project of the 2 projects I think I'm going to actually be able to get done. Mostly because I am a quilter and I have made project bags before, and I do not think the project bag is something you can finish in the 2-hour class. But who knows? We'll see. I mean, we'll see how it goes down. But I did want to show you the fabric that I picked for my project bag. So this is so that you can see the project bag. So Tiger Lily is the one that is teaching it. This is a little dull in color. My printer's running out of ink. But this gets you the idea, right? It's like a little starburst, sunburst kind of thing. You can do any theme that you want with it. I think Lindy Stitches actually did post one using Christmas fabrics for it. I am a 365 stitcher of Halloween, and so I'm like, it doesn't hurt to have a Halloween project bag because I have lots of Halloween projects. So I'm going to show you the inspiration piece, and this should come at no surprise to anybody. I am going, let's go ahead and turn it so you can see it right set up. I am going, so my inspiration piece is this fabric by Frosted Pumpkin. You can get this on Spoonflower. So this is Frosted Pumpkin Stitchery. And this was like the companion fabric for their Halloween wreath to be able to make it into a pillow or things like that. And I did buy a lot of it. I bought like a yard of this fabric because I knew I wanted to make a project bag out of it. And so I've decided that I'm going to use this as my project fabric. So what do y'all think? So there's that center, that little center guy right there. Oop. And so I am thinking I'm going to do the frog, right? Did you think I should do the frog? Or do you think I should do the bat? I think a frog makes sense, right? Because it's a frog and it's cross stitching. And then, or the bat. What do you think? But I think I'm leaning towards the frog as the centerpiece of my frog. So, and the idea is that I have, I'm going to use this as my top fabric here, and it will be the back of my fabric. So it's going to be mostly the Frosted Pumpkin is what's going to be. And so now I've went and found a variety of fabrics to serve as the starburst there around this. My best friend came and visited me on Saturday, a couple of days ago. We went to a quilt shop and we kind of shopped my stash and everything to be able to look for some complementary fabric. And so first I did shop for my stash. And this is kind of what I pulled out. That's what I thought would go well with it. So first I have 2 of the exact same fabrics in different colorways. So I have these Stars and Moons in orange. This is black, but orange. Oh, I don't know why it won't focus. There it goes. So I have that. And then I also have the exact same fabric in gray. And so that's that. Yes, I do keep things on a little mini bolt. I love these bolt. They're like polar something. Polar Notions. They I think they went out of business because I've tried to find them again. Um but I can't find them. And so, which is okay because the way I'm trying to deal with my things and making sure I don't buy too much is that if I don't buy it for a specific purpose, it has to fit within my space. And I have enough of these to do the space I have. And so then I have these bats. I think those are cute. And Ghost. And while this is a directional fabric, I still think it's going to work okay. These are little spiders. This is just some autumnal kind of fabric that I thought would go well with it. Just to not have everything be Halloween-y, right? Like some of it to just be different kind of themes. These are kind of on the fence. I don't know if I'm going to be using these or not, but I have this fabric as well. Slightly directional. And then I have a bunch of acorns. Again, these two are iffies. All right. And so we went to the store to pick up a couple of other fabrics that we thought might work well with it. And so this one is like these little triangles, and then there's like a hat, poison, skull, and little pumpkin. There's like a little ghost there. So we got that. It's a purple. I also got this cute skull and flower one. Thought that was really sweet. And then we had this one of different types of mask. And then one last one that's not too obviously Halloween, but black toned with orange dots. And so I don't know if I'm going to be using all these fabrics. In the kit, in the instructions, it says about 10 different fabrics. When I look at it, it does look like it's about 8 fabrics, I think, is actually what she uses. So eventually I will cull it down to what I think. But y'all let me know if you think there's anything in specific that you think I should be utilizing. So, right. So here it is. Here's the inspiration fabric. Y'all let me know. Y'all let me know what you think about my fabric choices. And I did get a border for the binding, and I have 2 options, and I think it's going to be whatever I feel. So I already have it cut down for a binding size, these little diagonal stripy things. But I also had this one. I thought this one's great. I think if this is a good binding, I think, for that. So yeah, that's what I just wanted to show y'all when it came to planning for this project. I have looked at the instructions, and again, has a quilter. I do not plan at all of doing the thing in real time in the class at the retreat. I have done this type of thing before, so I may choose to go ahead and start and then maybe work on like some later steps when she gets to it. But it's kind of, I'm up in the air about that. But I will also say something I will also be doing differently is that, so she has a chenille trim like right there. And she actually has the supply. You can buy it on Etsy. But when I was reading the instructions for it, it kind of comes in such a way that once you stitch it on, you go in and you fluff it up and it creates that, and that's what makes it easy. But I'm honestly having a hard time making the purchase for that because I don't know if I'm going to use that chenille in that way. And so I do have some, oops, I should have had this out already. But like I have like some things, I was on like a trims thing. So I do actually have like some chenille already that I think will actually work okay. And I'm just going to more likely than not hand stitch it on. So that way I can use it instead of buying a whole thing and maybe potentially not use that again. I'm trying to be sure that if I am buying something, like I only bought 4 fat quarters, but the intention is to actually use them. And so that's kind of where I want to kind of be mindful of purchasing too much and that kind of thing. All right. I think that's it. I think that's all my stitching content. How have y'all been doing? Y'all been doing okay? I told you everything about what's going on in my life. There are some other stressors I'm not going to talk about right now because I don't want to jinx anything, as well as I just want to enjoy my day off. So I'm not going to talk about these other things because I'm just going to enjoy my day off. So while I have started watching Suits. So my husband and I actually have a lot of similar tastes in shows and things that we like to watch. And so I'm not allowed to watch things that he wants to watch when he's not here. And so I always have to be like, what are you not going to want to watch? And he decided he does not want to watch Suits with me. So I was like, okay, I'm going to watch Suits. So I've been watching Suits. But because I am the magical anime stitcher, I have to tell you about the anime I've been watching. So we did finish the second season of Apothecary Diaries, which is so cute. It is now on Netflix, so if you are a Netflix subscriber in the U.S., you can get it. It is dubbed. We watch it in the dub, so it's fine. I think you know, interestingly, I've had conversations with other people who watch anime, and it's kind of one of those, like, I'm not a purist in that I feel like I have to watch it in the Japanese, necessarily, but whatever I start in is how I need to finish it. So we did start watching it in the dub. We need to continue in the dub because you get used to the tone and because it's a character acting, right? They're acting, and it may not necessarily be 100% the same. And but we did watch Apothecary Diaries in the dubbed, and it's so cute, it's so fun, and so we highly recommend it. We've also been watching Anne Shirley. It's an anime. That one we're not quite complete with because we did start in the dubbed and then we got caught up, and so we're like, let's wait a little bit for the episodes to get caught up because we do like to watch more than one episode at a time. But Anne Shirley, I don't know how long y'all been around, but every time I talk about when I stitch on the Anne Shirley piece, which is going to be one of my pieces to pick up because I haven't stitched on it in a while, from the Stitching Book Club, but Anne Shirley was the first literary character I ever read that made I was sad that they did not exist and in real life. Like, she was so real to me, and I love the book. I love the character. And I will pretty much watch any version of Anna Green Gables that is available. I've watched the Anne with an E. I watched the PBS one. Like, I mean, I think for a lot of people, like the Megan Fellows one from the 80s, I think, out of that was made in Canada, is probably still the main one that most people fall in love with. But I really, really am enjoying Anne Shirley, the anime, and I feel it's a wonderful introduction of this character to people who have not seen it. They're staying pretty true to the books, and everything about her is just wonderful. So if you like Anne Shirley, you like some animation, go watch Anne Shirley. And but right now it's an oldie but a goodie. We started watching My Hero Academia. We're now on season 3. So we did start watching that. It's gotten to the point where it's like, but one of the reasons why I was like, let's watch My Hero Academia, because I think that my husband would enjoy that, but also because there's like, eventually I have a little graphic of some stitching for My Hero Academia, and I'm like, I want that. I want to see that, like the part where he's actually stitching. So, but those are the animes that we've been watching. And hopefully if you like that kind of stuff, go take a look at it. And I've been also reading, oh goodness, what is it called? It's so I am a patron. Words have become really difficult for me, but I am a patron of the Frosted Pumpkin Stitchery, and we are doing a book club, and I think it's the Alfonsi Curse. I am very bad at keeping up with the reading, but I'm about halfway through the book, so I've been enjoying that. I also recommend, if you enjoy the pumpkins, go join their Patreon. I think it's a pretty good value for what they provide for us. But I enjoy them. I feel like I'm stocky weird, like, oh, you're my friends, but you don't know me in real life. But I really have been enjoying that, and I do recommend them if you're looking for a Patreon to support. And I think that's it. that's it, y'all. September goals, I think I kind of alluded it to. I'm going to work on greenwashing, and I searched for an ancestor. I think I'm going to try to goal those to finish in September. And then after that, I'm just going to continue on with my plans of stitching on something that I haven't touched. Now, for those of you who've been with me for a minute, y'all also know that this is September, which is normally when I dedicate to Sailor Moon, to Sailor Moon Squad. I don't know if I'm going to be doing that, but I will be working on Sailor Moon Squad in September. So for those of you who've been like, where is Sailor Moon Squad? She is coming. They are coming. So those are my 3 plans for September. And I think that's pretty much it. My screen just went black, so hopefully everything's still recording there. So I am traveling a little bit in September for work. I'm looking forward to that. We got a lot of shows. Football is back, so lots of stitching in the stands that are going to be coming. I did do some stitching on my Texan logo, but I don't really include that. I didn't include that in my monthly stitching because I only put basically about 50 stitches in while we were at the game. And so you'll see all of that next month when I have more stitching done. And so, but yeah, that's it. Thanks so much for hanging out with me, y'all. I hope if you are watching this today for some reason, have a great Labor Day for those who are off and celebrating today. And wherever you are, I hope you're doing well and having a stitchy good time. Take care, everyone. Bye-bye. If I want it to stop.